I don't have EXO up on this one.
Yeah, we do. No, we don't on EXO. It just says we don't.
Okay, yeah, TradingView says we do. Yeah, TradingView says we do. Let me pull up ATAS and see what it's got going on, because I went to renew my EXO during the last live stream because like the 3-month thing, you pay 3 months at a time or whatever.
I think mine's up too.
And I don't have the payment saved on this computer. The payment wasn't saved on this computer. I'm not about to enter my credit card on a fucking live stream.
So you couldn't show order flow?
I just went over it, like I verbally talked about it. But
yeah, he knew where all the spots were anyway, so he didn't need it.
Which is, I'm logged into ATAS on my other computer because it's making me exit that session to get onto this one.
One of a kind is first. Sup, fellas? What's up? One of a kind. I feel like you just put up a nice trade today, if I'm not mistaken. There's Thursday nights, marathon night. What is going down? Pee pee poo poo. All right, Matt. Welcome in. T-Bone, you are like fourth, man.
Slacking, mate.
He's slacking, man. Near's been messing with him. He's off his game right now.
He's off his game.
Dude, I've been waiting for a long at a Near for like weeks at this point. Like, T-Bone and I were talking about the other night. It's like it's a scary one right now. He's just destroying anybody trying to attempt a long.
Magic in his do-rag activities.
Do-rag, man. That thing was...
You like that?
That thing was...
It's a backwards hat, but it's black.
It 100% looked like a do-rag.
He thought you had a do-rag on, man, and immediately...
I was like, Magic actually turned up to stream in a do-rag.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I did grow up in the hood. I grew up in, Andale, Kansas, basically, a town of 700 people. Hog farming it, baby.
Hog farm.
Yeah. Oh, you're looking at. I should look at my chart.
I'm just throwing up a welcome screen for everybody.
Yeah, I got 29.90 is where I'm looking for. Over time.
90, huh? Is that like a weekly, monthly?
Annual.
Oh, the old Annie. The old Annie.
The only one on the chart outside the one up top.
There she is. Skirt. There she is. Dang.
I guess I should look in the chat, see who's in this party.
T-Bone, what are you going to do when the alts some of the alts just go to zero, mate? When they're just like, oh yeah, we actually got no real world use. We're just literally a bullshit coin. What are you going to do then when they all go to zero, mate?
Dude, I hope, I don't know. I guess I hope McDonald's is still hiring.
They're always hiring.
Near's dropping.
I just hope McDonald's is still hiring. All right. 15 in the chat.
Well, I don't know if you know this one of a kind, but I do want to be a professional wrestler. Vince McMahon is my hero. So that's the goal.
McMahon.
That's the post that CVO made in the group.
What's that? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. The D-Rag came in perfect, man. I had to put that.
The very first thing, I knew he was going to say it. The very first thing that was said was, "You look like Crown." I was like, dude.
I swear to God, I thought that Miguel pulled up a video of Crown somehow. And the way you were sitting sideways, I was like,
I know that we look that. I know, like I think he's pretty close to my height. I think we're both like 5'6", so pretty sure that we're like the exact same size. We're both Jewish. We're both hairy as fuck. Excuse my language, but it is what it is.
Oh man.
And we all, oh well. The best TA is done from the short folk, the hobbits.
Yeah, I guess I got to agree. It's all people like, it's like your back starts hurting when you're in the chair too long.
Frodo Baggins was like the original. Frodo Baggins is Satoshi.
Frodo Bangers?
Frodo
Baggins. He might not be a Lord. He might not be a Lord of the Rings guy.
I am disappointed, actually, CVO. If that is the case, I am very disappointed.
Dude, why is my Solana chart all jacked up? Point of controls off. What? Did you see that? POC just changed from. That's interesting.
Solana to the floor. I shut the network down again, man.
Dude, Solana's gonna pump to the range high, and
I'm not giving it the range high. I was gonna give it the $59 because
I'll give it to the monthly pivot.
You you got to separate that. That's a lowercase b. You're looking at two ranges, not one. Yeah, you can't count that as one.
I'm pushing it higher. I'm shooting for the.
That's some FTM looking chart right there.
I'm shooting for the Q1 point of control.
That's lofty. That would be a melt up if I say so.
Dude, that would be a melt up. That'd be sweet.
That would be a melt up.
I'm 20x long right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go through Bitcoin as quickly as possible because it's really pretty simple. It's always simple, actually. We all know that. It is always simple. So these are the only levels on the chart that really matter right now outside of 31,333. So we'll go ahead and put that up. These are the levels that matter. Point blank, if you lose this 29,800 level on a closing basis, you have 29,424 beneath you, and anything below that, well, you're probably looking down range lows. There is untapped 8,580, if I recall, and that'd be an area of interest. It's a 3-day, isn't it? Here we go, 28,580. It took me long enough, but we found it. 705. But if we're just going off the range, I prefer to go off the range at this point. And you can just see it here. This is your range. 31,333 is what we're looking for, give or take. 31,311 now. It's what you need to see get flipped, right? And you've already been up here 1, 2, 3 times. So you would think on a fourth attempt if that happens. You just got to keep an eye on things like, again, above us, there is some untapped resistance. There is a single print that comes in at 32.9K at the Q1 low. That would be the completion of that, not the beginning, meaning that it completes in this area. It's a small one, but this would be a large area to get back above. This was a dump area from before. We go over to this chart again in POC chart, right? This was our first zone that we were actually looking to buy when this did dump down. You had all these levels that were lining up. We get out log scale, and this was the area. This is where you wanted to be looking for longs. In accordance with volume and fibs. So getting back above this region and holding 32.9K really is. And if you do that, you can start to speculate on further moves to the upside, but not until then. But it all starts with a flip of 31.3. To the downside, if we're going to retest this wick or maybe even make a new low, you're going to need to see us lose 28,726. You lose that level, you've got downside in the books. It's pretty simple. Until then, everything's a day trade for me. You can justify a long a lot better than you can justify a short in this region. So if you're looking for swing trades, I think the invalidation that's kind of far away for both, I suppose. Neither one's a great swing trade from this area just because the best trades are taken where at the low of the range and the high of the range. You're more so in the middle of the range if you review it. So I would say, I wouldn't say it's no man's land, but I would say I'd be cautious, putting on risk in this area, especially if you're using any kind of leverage. you just want to avoid that. But yeah, when you look at this from an overall average, you're below the moving average, you're below the point of control, you're coming back to macro support. You really need to find itself here and start recovering some ground. Locally, 100 it looks like is going to be the level in the really immediate short term you want to hold on to. And then after that, 31.3, then you're looking up to 32,351 in my opinion, and 32,903. And that's not to get too far ahead of ourselves. Everybody's looking for 36K or 40K, but I think that you really should be looking at this like you looked at the price action over here and treat it as an overall range. Here didn't exceed came up and took the highs, and so if we looked for something very similar, again, where does that come in at? About 32.9K takes all the highs, if we haven't done that already. So keep that in mind when you're up in the if you get up in these regions. Same if you go down the downside. This is all opportunity. A lot of people are going to be looking to sell for sub 20K or even 20 Bitcoin, and I think they're going to be disappointed by either an SFP or just a backfill into some support down here, depending on how things go. So yeah, that's all I've got on Bitcoin. And very easy to trade right now. I would say. I wouldn't say it's easy to trade. I would just say the trades are obvious, and then the execution is really on you at that point, and making good decisions in the moment. So no one's gonna trade for you and tell you. I mean, if they do, you're at the mercy of that person. That's not something I'm ever gonna subject you guys to or subject myself to. Max, what do you got?
I was going to just talk through yesterday's price action. All right. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is well. Yeah. So yesterday in the stream, I mentioned we were down here. I mentioned if we got a reclaim of the daily open, I would foresee a move up to the pivot, which if I can get the right one up was. I don't know if that's the week. That's definitely not the right one. That's the weekly one. If you want to come in, we'll just roll with that anyway because it's in a similar area. So yeah, I wanted a reclaim of the daily open, which was then going to be a long signal on the back test. Hence why we drew this little arrow thing here. Granted, it didn't look the exact same, but if you go on to the crack time frame, you clearly broke above and got a back test of the arguably with VWAP 2 and the daily open, which is where I've put this daily line. Obviously, this isn't a daily. I just put it there for the daily open so we could all see it. And then, yeah, off and up we go. We hit the pivot. I think the pivot was around here. And where did we actually come up to? We actually came up to the weekly VWAP, which would have been a nice short for anyone that took it. I took profits at the pivot for mine. I actually exited that trade, and then I didn't take a short here because I was out. And then we came down. Where else could you've got a trade if you missed this here? Well, look here. We tested the VWAP, we got a bounce, came back, tested again, and the market structure, was forcing it through the VWAP. I am on the 1 minute here, so you have to, take that for what it is, but it's going to the 1 minute and seeing how the price is building up around these type of levels that you can see, can get an idea of what's going to occur. You can see the price getting on this and getting tighter and tighter as you push through the VWAP. And that's what it's doing. It's pushing through the VWAP. Then you lose it, come back up, try to regain it, fail, come back down. You don't get a clear back test, but after you've broken below it, failed to hold above it, arguably that's your signal to go short. Then we dropped down and we came down to 29,800. Range for a little bit. I don't think anyone in the group caught this candle here. That would have been knife catching somewhat. But then during this area here, we saw that there was not a lot, but there was some CVD divergence building up. So that shows us there was some absorption of people shorting in this area, which is a bullish sign. And when we started to come down, when price started to break down here, because obviously it failed to hold the daily open, which is again still this line. It's not actually a daily level. It was the daily open. Failed to hold it, broke above it, and dropped below. Where do we come down to? I know many of the traders in the group jumped into trades on, but it was down here. You can see we had a huge increase in open interest, which for the guys in the group, they know that when you get an increase in open interest in a move, it tends to be a strong move until it's flipped. You can see here we've got trapped traders right at the bottom. What we did is we came down, we wicked below it. We had buying imbalances as people bought the price back up. And these selling imbalances that you've got here were immediately put underwater. With the increasing open interest and the negative delta that you've got in that candle, one can, come to the presumption that these traders are trapped and underwater, which is exactly what you want to see. That's why price moves down, to draw in traders, to trap them, to then squeeze them to the upside. And in the group we were discussing this. We were all talking about it in the time. Most of the day traders in the group, we all took that trade, and the take profit was the daily open, which again was in the 30,160. So that was take profit one. For those that held it, could have been the VWAP. If you wanted to hold it for longer, but yeah, take profit one and immediate was the daily open. Other trades that one could have got in for the day, because where do we actually go? So when we broke above the daily open, one claimed the daily open. So yeah, look, came down, tested the VWAP. You actually came down to the 30k region again. Let's have a look if that was the gold pocket from this low. There you go. It was. Shocker. So you come down, tested the golden pocket, it's got another bounce, another trade for anyone that was watching it. And you came up to, I believe there was something else here. Yeah, there was. Okay. So I'm going to go to the 5 minute now and lose exactly where I was. So if we pull another Fibonacci from here to here, you're in the gold pocket. I think there was daily pivot there as well. A couple things of confluence in this region. I think Magic called out the pivot. The gold pocket was here. Another signal. Okay, maybe I want to think about going to a short. And that's how pretty much you could have traded the whole of yesterday perfectly. And when we were down here, actually, I spoke about in the group, I posted this chart. Where was I? Try and find it. I think I posted this chart, yeah. Doesn't look as good. If I go to the 1 minute, it might be a bit cleaner. Who'd have guessed? 1 minute is cleaner. So you've got three lows here. 1, 2. I think there's either. Where did I post it? I actually got it in the Discord here, so I'm going to get it up. Find it and bring that across. So you guys can see this. This was posted at 4 o'clock our time. I was actually on the 5 minute there, so I will get the same chart. We've got 1, 2, 3 lows built up. So that's the low that was made here. So let's zoom that back across. Go to the 5 minute, and I'll find the exact same chart so you can all see what I'm on about. So here's one low, here's another low, and there was another here. So all of these lows, we had no swing failure patterns. So you got to think the liquidity is building up from all the people that have longed here. They'll put the stop losses here. All the people that have longed here, stop losses here. Here, again, same thing. We didn't take any of the lows. So I posted this chart, presuming, chances are you come and take these lows, because the market makers don't like to leave liquidity. Now, if we're going to get upside later today with whatever comes out in the news, if we are going to get upside, we have taken the liquidity to the lows initially. There is more, but unfortunately, XO doesn't have the data, which is a bit further down here. But if we're going to look at that trading view, you've taken these three considerable lows, because this was the low of yesterday. This was the low from the day before and the day before that. And we've now taken the liquidity of them lows. So we could run it to the upside now. If I actually try and find the pivots. Okay, so there's the pivot for today. Great target. We know that's a high percentage hit rate to get that. It's also in the previous day VWAP area. Very big area, to be honest with you. We've got, you've got the previous day daily open there. If you track that stuff, you've got the pivot for the day there, the previous day VWAP close, a few bits of confluence for if one wanted to take a short. So it has to be taken note that it's a high chance we hit that area, but with all the resistance that you've got there, it might be a difficult trade. The support that we've got below us is also the VWAP. You lose that, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Because the next low, after we've taken the liquidity here, the next low where the liquidity is lying is down here at 29,155, that region. So lose the VWAP. If you get the market structure is down right now. Claiming the pivot, arguably on the 15-minute, could change the market structure that we've got going on. We would have to wait and see as to what occurs. You have to wait for the data to come in, because it's not too telling right now on the order flow, I must admit. Sajid says you already had a back test of the VWAP coming off, but the volume's just awful. The volume is really bad. But you can see here, losing the VWAP, you've got a high delta here where there's been a lot of, not a mad amount of trades, and the open interest isn't huge, but there'll definitely be some longs that have entered in this region, and losing the VWAP, you're putting them longs underwater, which isn't good, but you've got things here where the shorts are exiting. So it's trying to build the picture. Okay, we either need to claim the daily pivot and hold the VWAP, or if we're losing the VWAP, where are we looking to? And again, I personally would be looking to this region, to the low 29,000s, to take that low, to be honest with you. And that's actually what I've got. I don't know who's going next, Sevia or Magic. I know you guys were literally just on the stream, so I apologize for making you do another here. But yeah, in the initial, claim that. If I get this up, we've got the daily open there, weekly open here. Has to be held, this the VWAP, to be honest with you, in my opinion.
I'm always a fan of your colorful-ish, what I imagine is colorful, at least, charts.
It's like Christmas decorations, right?
Cool. Well, nicely done there, man. And I got a nice. I'm going to run through a couple of altcoins real quick. I didn't do too many on Debate Crypto, actually. We kind of just went over Bitcoin tonight. So I know that what is in the news today? I think Litecoin has something going down. Chainlink, and then maybe Solana, I guess. Those are maybe the top three that are getting some questions around it. So Litecoin here. I bring this up here. I've got our major key levels that are definitely light years away at this point. Our yearly open, a couple quarterlies, and then the yearly key level coming in all the way back up at like 200. Our Q1 range right here, which we essentially basically washed through pretty perfectly, actually, right before we dumped out of it. Right, kind of had that lower B ordeal going on here. Ran it to the high, deviation to the low, right? Bounce from the low, right back to the high. Come back in, rejection at the high of the range. That would have been a good short area right here. Obviously, take it down to the previous range there. And then we ran it lower for the drawdown in the market as a whole. So now for the current developing quarter here, we got a really wide range in play. Got about, 21, the rest of this month, basically, we'll fulfill the rest of this range out. So it'll be interesting to see if I doubt we're going to see the range high met, but we do have an untapped monthly pivot right here. And that is a substantial move if we do get the opportunity to get up there, about 30%, kind of in line with a couple of other opportunities if dominance for Bitcoin starts breaking down, things of that nature. Obviously, Bitcoin would have to not be dropping for that to occur. But for now, we're under the point of control for the current quarter. We got a 3-month level that we're actually losing right now as well. So the range low is basically on deck at this point, unless you start reclaiming this 3-month level, which is about 61.50, so about $2 from where we are. Point of control is a major target. Obviously, this is our natural target to the upside, right? For now, you got 68.40, and then realistically, if we do make it up to this $76 in the short term here, I'd be paying attention to pretty much the whole market around there, like coming into the 30-40% pump on some of these large caps. If that was, big ifs across the board, that would probably be with the intent, that would probably imply that Bitcoin's probably seeing, upwards of that $33,000, $34,000, $5,000 range. which was the next big area where we'd be paying attention to if Bitcoin gets a pump. But for now, Litecoin loses its range low. And there's pretty much only two other levels below it, one of which is the yearly that, Magic's kind of been on about for quite a while. If you zoomed out, right, we were going over that at the beginning here. It's a little bit more, yeah. On a yearly level here, if you just put this onto a range, you'd have your high and you'd have your low coming in, and it's pretty cut and dry to see. That'd be the bottom there, about $29.30, give or take. $29, $27 region. And we got this pretty big weekly coming in here, which you can see just how we've held this pretty well going back in time here. So that's at about $41. And then, this is doubtful that we'd go straight down to it. Obviously we'll see how things unfold here, but that would be pretty much implying, unless Litecoin really just gets some terrible news wrapped around that South Korea ordeal, and everybody just literally starts, panic selling straight up, XRP style, right? But that's a pretty big drop. So I would imagine if Litecoin's getting hit with 50%, we're probably going to see, that's a whole market meltdown, another one. So for now, just looking for this range low, which is pretty much where we are now. If we come down to it, about like another 10%. If we start swinging around, look for that point of control, look for that monthly pivot up here, and then as far as, run it to the range high, which, like I said, I doubt we would. Just to point this out too, if we put a little channel around here, right, that pivot comes right in at the EQ of the range as well. So if we came up to here, this would definitely be an area where I'd probably, pay attention for. What's the other one there? Chain link, stinky link. Link had a nice inverse head and shoulders that pretty much just met target. If anybody's looking at that, right? A couple different ways to look at it. So in a little pattern world, right, you got your head and shoulders ordeal going on here. And you probably just take that little puppy, raise it up, boom, came up, tagged it up here. I got a little bit more on the normal side of things up here, but that is for anybody who's looking at that, right, that was actually a pretty decent target area just off of that alone if you were looking for it. And then otherwise, developing quarterly range, right, had our low, ran it up to this daily, pulled back to the golden pocket perfectly, ran it up, kind of danced around this point of control for quite a bit. And then so far, excuse me, had an untapped monthly pivot, came up and took that out. And right above us, we've got our monthly level. So the next major resistance coming in here. And then we've got the range high just above that. So for Link, getting overbought, not that that means we have to come down right away, but for a pullback, if we started coming back down, I would be looking back towards actually, holding on to this level right here is probably, not the worst thing. So if really we hold on to this 916 area, maybe we, kind of challenge our way up from here. Start losing that though, I'd imagine we come back down towards this monthly pivot. And then we've got just a couple levels in here. Otherwise it's going back to the point of control, which would be a pretty decent little pullback here. So getting in the chain link at this exact moment probably isn't, where you want to be compared to some others, right? Because another thing to pay attention for, just from the golden pocket, I think this has been like a 50% run up. Yeah, so that's a pretty substantial rally for one of the coins here, even though, everything's been beaten down so much. But that's what I'd be looking for, right? You do have the range high would be that next major area coming in after this monthly. And otherwise, pulling back would be looking for areas in here. Then at the end of the day too, we could pull back just even to this daily right here. And at the end, just still be putting in, an uptrend in that sense, even with a decent pullback. All right, that's 10, 15%, which is not uncommon. Like I said, just from this area here, that's been 50% to the upside. If you're pulling it from the low, this is almost 100% move out of one of our alts here. So VeChain. I just posted VeChain earlier. I didn't hear anything. No, there's got a UFC partnership. Be pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean VeChain. This a lot of the ranges for this quarter are pretty big, which is pretty interesting, right? Because we just had such a deep fall in the beginning, or I guess in the middle, towards middle of May. For VeChain, though, looking to hold this point of control from there, taking it up to this daily. We got a monthly key level. I think that's untapped at this point too. So this would be an area of interest to the upside. And then basically this daily golden pocket area would be a big one too if we get it. So that's a pretty decent 30-40% move to the upside, right? So that'd be an area I'd be paying attention for if you're in VeChain here for the short term. Oddly enough, only takes you back up to 4.5 cents. But that would be that area in the short run here, right? Got your range high just above that, a couple other key levels. But this region would be, if we're going to go up, I'd be looking for this one for the short term. And once again, 30-40% runs out of these large caps. I would imagine we'd probably get a 10-15% move higher out of Bitcoin. And what else? Good old ETH. Ethereum. ETH is an easy one, just chilling. Right? Got our range low. We're pretty much hovering around. You could probably start dressing this up if you wanted to, right? As a pennant, whatever triangle you want to make out of this, essentially. Probably would break down, honestly. Right now we're below the point of control and we're towards the range low. So in the short term, even if we were to see something like this, right, and then come back down and just tag the range low, anybody looking at this in that triangle formation would probably get really wigged out, thinking this is breaking down, when at the end of the day, you're just coming back down and retesting the low, if that is what goes down. Otherwise, just looking at this, just in the sense of the levels we're looking at, right? So we got our point of control chilling here about 1827. Daily levels right above that. Untapped monthly pivot comes in right at this weekly that we've been playing off of for quite a while as well. Up here, it's pretty much just an old POC right here. And then we got the point of control from the move down. So, which is just above the range high. So range high, this maybe 1 or 2% difference, 3%. So if we get all the way back up, this is a big range too. So, I mean, I don't even know if we really get up to that level. This weekly, monthly pivot right here, and this weekly level would probably be a big area depending on how things play out. 23% move out of ETH. Like I said, you're probably getting a 15-20% move out of Bitcoin too. So we'd really want to be paying attention, because that's going to put us in that 34, 33, something in that range for BTC. But yeah, I think that's all I got. I think so. CVO forgot the size of it. The size of it was the VeChain announcement today. Forgot the size of it. Take a look at HBAR real quick. I don't know what you mean by forgot the size of it, unless you mean the size of the announcement.
Is that really a big thing though? Like, we've got a partnership with
no,
UFC.
probably
like what are they
partnership with UFC that like
Khabib turns up and they're getting a scanner out. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely Khabib.
I'm a pretty big UFC fan, so I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, but for what though? Like, what is it actually going to do? Is it like pay-per-view, and it's something to do with like you can check the authenticity of the pay-per-view, or what?
With VeChain, like how they're using it, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
exactly. What's it actually doing? Like UFC didn't need VeChain before to confirm. Like, it's to authorize in VeChain to like prove that whatever you've got, the product in front of you, is authentic. So.
No, that's an NFT. VeChain shows you where things come from. No, VeChain shows you where things come from. Like, so if you're curious about where like the materials were sourced from, or the, the goods, or like the, let's say you buy something from the store that's edible, you can see where it was sourced from.
Yeah, but they know where the
where
fibers
they
are
got.
from.
Yeah, you can see exactly where you're buying it from. You can even track the shipments. You can see how it got there. It sounds ridiculous, but people do care.
It sounds good, but
about that because there's that, it just adds transparency, and it allows the person that's shipping or receiving to have quite a bit of hold on logistics. So I imagine.
So is it VeChain? Is it UFC like kit, like the boxing shorts and stuff like that?
It could be. I don't know, man. I have no idea. It could be. I didn't hear about it. You guys know me in the news. I'm kind of
Dude, you made it seem like you were a huge news guy on Debate Crypto and threw me under the bus.
I'm not a news guy. He made that. He made that.
I'm just kidding.
That comment, and I was like, I don't ignore like macro.
Well, I know he made it sound like I just completely ignore it too. I was like, nah, whatever. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I mean,
when I'm trading, I don't care about the news.
Good. Who knows? I mean, Litecoin's getting hit with some North Korea stuff. Maybe they're getting a partnership. For the question on HBAR, somebody was asking, right? So I would imagine we're kind of a tail between two ranges here. Going back to this one over here, which is wide as can be as well. I got the point of control that we pretty much gave up, and we're pretty much coming up and back testing it to some degree. We got our current range and our current quarter that we're giving up and somewhat bleeding that as well. Our low comes in here at 7 cents, which could, I don't really know how well that's going to really hold up. More than anything, maybe looking around this region. But yeah, I think if things really start getting hairy for HBAR, we're probably heading back down to this 5 cent region, which is a pretty big weekly level at the time, around the range low of this previous range over here, and around this wick low, obviously. So that's kind of assuming that the market takes a plunge, because this is that's a big move from where we are. Not that it can't happen. Obviously, we already wicked down to there. But if you really want to get back above this point of control here, I mean, at least the 9, I mean, where we were earlier today, or I guess earlier this week. But really getting back above even this like monthly pivot and this point of control is probably where we want to be living above short term, to not be seeing complete downside from here. But HBAR is a rough one. They've definitely had a big move up, and usually supersedes with a big move down, right? So what that actually wasn't too big. It's 25x. Not as massive as like Matic and some of the other ones, but yeah, we could be coming back down to this region. Link in the news section. Yeah. Good old link. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got too. I don't know, we're right at 40 minutes. We're at our little time here. I just wanted to kind of give everybody a little brief overview here. Hope you all enjoyed Debate Crypto. That was kind of fun. Got to see Magic's do-rag. So if you guys missed that, be sure to check it out.
Yeah.
Dude, Magic, I think that should be an NFT, man. I think we, that and fanny packs, we really got something on our hands.
I'm a fanny pack collector. I'll show you live and
dude, if you have a fanny pack collection in the screen,
I do. I do have a fanny pack collection. It's a real thing, man.
I'm sure it is. I do not doubt it.
Look, chicks love it.
If VeChain partnered up with your fanny packs, that would be bullish. I think that would be bullish, because then we'd know where they came from. We'd know where they were shipped from. That's something that
yeah, they got the goods.
Yeah. Oh man, still waiting on Bitcoin dominance to take a plunge here. I would personally love for this to happen. It's just like every day that goes on, we're just like crawling higher. You got some beautiful bearish divergence that's been on here for like 2 weeks, and we're running into a monthly resistance above. We got an untapped monthly pivot below previous range. Whatever. I mean, that's here or there at this point, I guess, but. If we get a pullback out of this dominance, we'll see. We'll probably get those 20% run ups out of the altcoins that we were just looking at, right? Seeing even Litecoin, ETH, and everything pretty much pumping 20-30%, some 50. And that's just wishful thinking at the moment until we really start seeing some drawdown here. But the recipe is there if the chef starts cooking. All right. You guys have anything else you want to add before we finish up? I don't think there's anything else I really want to go over.
Not really. I'm just taking a look at some of the local ranges just to look, but I don't think there's anything to really talk about. I mean,
hold the VWAP.
Just waiting to see if Bitcoin wants to actually. Yeah, it just needs to reclaim some ground. Otherwise, you're looking down pretty much. But if it regains it could be quite bullish, to be honest with you. It really could.
The dominance, it's just on a ledge.
Not dominance, not dominance. More so Bitcoin. I don't watch the dominance when I'm trading Bitcoin, but if you're looking at alts, you definitely want to see that going down for sure. Yeah, you definitely want to be watching that. It's a great thing to watch. But nope, I got nothing, guys. If you guys want to, we'll end it off and we'll reconvene another time. Appreciate anyone that was in. If you guys are watching, smash the likes. Links to the group are obviously in the bio. We were on Debate Crypto, myself and CVO. Max was still sleeping. Time difference in Dubai is brutal, so he wasn't up for that one. But he did grace us early this morning. I don't know if you guys realize that when Max comes on, it's like 5 or 6 in the morning for him over there. So if you guys haven't seen Debate Crypto's channel and you're watching this back, or you guys are new, go give it a watch, not just our episode, as we like to support other creators that are not only kind in the space, but put out good content. They have all kinds of TA people on there, news, stuff like that. So stuff you don't really see all the time. So otherwise,
that's it.
We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Absolutely. Yep. Once again, thanks for everybody coming out. I hope you all have a great evening, day, wherever you are in this beautiful world. If you'd like to join the Leading Crypto Discord, like Magic said, the information's in the description. Otherwise, we'll see you all in the next one. Until next time, everybody, cheers.